Hi, good morning, and welcome to this video. So this is going to be the ultimate beginner digital painting in Photoshop workshop, and we're going to use a very basic object. You can see here I have this Lego car, and this is a good object to choose because each side, it's a very basic object, but each side is unique and interesting and is visually different from the other sides. You can see the side view, the top view, the bottom view, another side or front view, and then an isometric or three-quarter view. But there are other objects that are similar. So here you can see this camera, also a really nice object to draw because each vantage point or viewpoint is unique and different and interesting to draw. It's not just a basic box from different sides. Here you have a can opener and then also a plug. So it doesn't need to be something very out there. It can be something really, really basic. I'm also only going to use the preset brushes that come with Photoshop. I'm not going to load my own or a bought set of brushes. As you go along with digital painting, you'll see a lot of digital artists and illustrators have unique brush sets that they work with, and it creates beautiful, unique kind of effects. But this is just a basic workshop to show you how one will approach drawing digitally and how you get accustomed to working in the digital space. So let's go ahead and create a file. I am actually going to use this car as my example sheet, and I'm just going to go ahead and create a new document. I'm going to create a custom square document, and one usually works in 72 ppi, but that brings the quality really low and it doesn't allow for any kind of scalability after the fact. So I do like to work at a higher res, and especially if you want to print your work, you don't want to work in 72 ppi because that is for screen. So I change it to 300 ppi and I say create. You can always downscale, but upscaling, that's where the problem comes in. All right, you'll see in my layers panel, I have a blank background. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw with a midground. So I'm actually going to grab my gradient tool, my paint bucket tool, and I'm just going to select a very basic gray. Like ideally one would go for a 50% gray, but I'm going to go for something a little bit lighter. And if you want to be specific, you can use the CMYK model to only use black ink, but I'm just tinting the page really. That looks like good. That's like between a 30 to 40% gray. And I'm paint bucketing there. I did it. Okay. And now I'm going to switch to my tablet. I'm using, there we go. I just wanted it to recognize it. And I'm going to use, let's do this photo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, for this purpose, just drop it onto this file so that I have it next to one another. All right. And let's just put it here up top, not here to the right, up top. Okay. And that's, I'm going to zoom in now. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to use the brush tool, and it's set here in the tools panel. And I'm just choosing the basic brush. And then you have the bar here at the top who gives you some options where you can manipulate the opacity and the flow. It is, especially for the first part, I like to set it also around like 50%. And I said I'm going to use just the basic round brush with the soft round or the soft edge. Let's see, 15, around 7 pixel. That looks good. And then you could also go into your brushes panel here, that's floating on the right hand side, and it gives you additional options. And this is quite nice to see sort of brush tips, but also like it gives you things, options such as under scattering and under shape dynamics. When you choose control, you can choose pin pressure, and dependent on sort of, you'll see sort of in the preview, it's going to allow not a solid round line. Okay, so I'm going to, of course, choose a darker color and about grays. I'm going to do it that way. And I'm going to create a new layer. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to just call that line sketch. All right. And wait, where are you? Just trying to find my tip. Where are you? Ah, here you are. Okay. Okay, and now we can begin. Why don't you want to draw? Let's see. Sorry, brush. Fade. That's better. But for now, I'm actually going to. Okay, this one reacts better to the setting that says here under the brush settings, that says stylus wheel under control. So it's just going to be, you have to test it out with your specific one. Okay, and I'm actually going to, I'm going to now basically use the brush tool and the eraser tool to, there I'm using the eraser tool, and the eraser tool is also found here under in the tools panel on the left hand side. Those are the two things I'm going to choose to work with. So I'm going to just manipulate it a little bit. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's just warm up a little bit. You can see whenever it feels like some lines have become too much, I don't take a complete erase. I literally just take the eraser and I reduce the opacity, or you can toggle around with it to reduce opacity or reduce the flow, and you work with it that way around. To change the width of the brush tip, you obviously can go under brush settings or here at the top. You can use this size bar, but you can also use toggle between the square brackets on your keyboard to change their sizing. So just something to keep in mind. Zooming in a bit. In many ways, it's not very different from drawing as you would on paper. It's just getting accustomed to with regards to hand-eye coordination to draw not looking down directly at the paper where your hand is drawing, but actually looking on a screen. Unless you have a tablet that, of course, can that has a screen. Save it so I don't lose it. All right. All right. So this is kind of the initial line sketch and basic plotting of your car, of your object. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit. I'm reducing it to around about 30%. Okay, and I'm going to start working on a new layer. So this is, of course, the part that's different from drawing on paper, is kind of when you make mistakes, it's not only that you can completely erase, but you can see I try to keep a history of the mark for a while, and then I build up value from there onward. So here we're going to start focusing more on value planes and maybe some shadow and more detail. And of course, parts are still wrong, and I'm going to work on that. So, okay. And the other thing that's different is you can obviously zoom and out, in and out the whole time. I would like to, at this stage, actually zoom in a little bit so I can work more finely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this image, this document float, and I'm going to make it smaller. what I'm also going to do, oh goodness, make the opacity 100. I'm actually gonna just make small swatches so I keep track of the colors that I have been using and am using. Okay. Oh, sorry. I should have said, like, if you're wondering how I got that straight line, sometimes when you want a really straight line, as you will discover, it's sometimes a little bit difficult. So I just hold the Shift key. I hold the Shift key and the destination point, and then it creates that nice, solid line for you. As you see, there's no real secret. It's just getting used to this different type of format of doing things. And it's going to depend on your drawing style. I like to keep some of the history of my marks. It makes the drawing more interesting, in my opinion. But some people want it to have a lot more cleaner look, and then they will obviously give it a cleaner look. So for me, it's just a case of building up value now. And when I realize a line is completely wrong, like that one, and I want to fix it, then I just, yeah, you can see it's a combination of changing the values and trying to find the best kind of line. I actually do need to go lighter. This one. As you know, drawing is something that requires time. So we will now have to spend some time on this drawing for it to really look like something and not look like a total disaster. Every drawing has a time, a period where it looks really ugly and messy. And my drawing is now definitely at that stage. I am just going back and forth and looking at it and trying to change perspectives and trying to fix lines, trying to observe. I'm actually moving toward going into more lighter values now, I think. Uh, um, what's nice about drawing from a mid-ground is you you really do build color and you actually already begin with a bit of um, tonal value in your drawing already. So you see, I can't talk and draw at the same time. There are people who can do it. I'm clearly not one of them. When I talk, I don't concentrate on the drawing, and vice versa. So that's why I've got some weird, odd shapes in here. Um, and let's go a bit darker here. Using the keyboard shortcuts, it really makes my life easier. So the B for the brush, the I for the eyedropper tool to select my swatches here as values of color that I'm using to build it up. And yeah, you toggle it just, and then of course the size of the brush tip, and manipulating the opacity as well. That's another great way of it's too dark. And of course the back Control Z for going back if something feels too much. It's too dark. And as you can see then here, if it's a lot more than I need to go back, then I use the history panel. No, that's too dark. If you're new to digital painting, another easy bridge across traditional pencil and paper and digital painting is to first draw your piece on paper, and then you scan it in and you use that as the basis for the drawing. That's another very friendly way to start working in digital. Sorry, this is hard. Sorry. I think this line is wrong. This line should be there. I think my car is it for now. And you can see I just built up that value and ultimately brought extreme dark, extreme lightness into it. And because we work on a mid-ground background, that white really pops, looks so nice and bright. And that's it. I think it's just like you see, there's no secret to it. The basic drawing principles still apply. It's just about getting accustomed to drawing hand-eye coordination, drawing on this tablet and your eyes are looking at the screen. But I think you guys are going to do great, and I hope you have some fun with it.